Okay, so guess what? We are back with Combat Boots to Red Bottoms. The topic that we are discussing or continuing to discuss is success mindset for entrepreneurs. And we're going to be learning how to cultivate an entrepreneur mindset that inspires, motivates, and leads you to success. Now, I am your facilitator, Letitia Holmes, and I'm the founder of Combat Boots to Red Bottoms. And we're going to move right into Module 3. Today, we're going to be discussing um, adopting your new entrepreneur mindset. Adopting your new entrepreneur mindset. So let's move on. Okay, so in the past module, um, I've had you identify and reframe your old mindset that no longer serves your best interest. Okay, so we have, if you're part of our program, one of the Combat Boots to Red Bottoms program, if you're enrolled in that, or you are enrolled in the Precision Guided program, then we have already had our one-on-one and we've had our group our group format discussion that went over all the things that you have done in your handout. Okay, so we've done that in the last module. Now you learned some key insight about yourself as they pertain to employee and small business ownership versus entrepreneurship. So remember, we are dealing with entrepreneurship, but we defined what the mindset of an employee as well as a small business owner looks like compared to an entrepreneur mindset. And so with this knowledge that you have learned in module 3, in module 2, the you're now ready to take that information and to look a little bit deeper into entrepreneur mindset and start adopting the characteristics that will make the biggest impact on your success. Excuse me. For some reason, I feel like I have a little frog in my throat, so forgive me for that. So far in the course, we've talked about both growth mindset and entrepreneur mindset. We've already talked about that. We've covered quite a bit. And two are not interchangeable. The growth mindset and the entrepreneur mindset, these two are not interchangeable. The growth mindset refers to a broader kind of mindset, whereas the entrepreneur mindset is more specific. So remember when we first started out, we talked about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And then we moved on into the small business, employee, entrepreneur mindset. So remember, these two, the growth mindset and the entrepreneur mindset, is not interchangeable. And that's because the growth is broader than the entrepreneur mindset. However, the two of them, both of these mindsets, share several common behavior characteristics, and we're going to go over that. Okay, so we're going to deal with positivity. So positivity, no matter what happens, an entrepreneur can frame it in a positive light. This is simple, okay? This is a simple matter of positioning or rephrasing. That is what entrepreneurs do. They try and stay positive. Instead of saying, how can I avoid this situation? An entrepreneur will ask, how can I correct this issue? You see the difference? How can I avoid this situation? No, an entrepreneur asks, how can I correct this issue? Another characteristic is learning from failure. Entrepreneurs generally don't achieve success on the first try. So one of their key behaviors is that they try and try again. There's ups and downs, and entrepreneurs are resilient and very persistent. Okay. So this is a big part of learning from failure. These are characteristics, these are traits that come with entrepreneurship. There will always be surprises and failures no matter how much you plan. And entrepreneurs actually learn from these failures, and then what they do is move on. It's kind of easy to see how this relates to the growth mindset when someone with a fixed mindset encounters a setback, they're likely to dismiss the task as being impossible, right? They see it as a personal failure and give up in order to avoid further failure. But an entrepreneurial mindset allows you to uncover the less hidden, I mean, the lesson that's actually hidden. I'm sorry, not less hidden, but the lesson that is actually hidden in the setback or that particular failure, so that you can grow, from it, grow stronger and move on, and learn from that. Okay. Another characteristic is perseverance. Perseverance, just like, the growth mindset, is a key characteristic of an entrepreneur mindset. And it's perseverance, of course. So entrepreneurs tackle challenges head on. That's something. Remember, we was talking about how entrepreneurs just leap in. So if they see a challenge, if they see a problem, they're going to tackle it head on, and they don't beat themselves up over failure because they know that they'll continue to try to find a solution for it. They look at it as a challenge. They keep trying, and they're stubborn and they're dogged, so they continuously try, which is one of the reasons that people often mistake an entrepreneur's genius for stupidity and insanity. Now, I am not saying that you continue to do the same thing over and over and over again without results. That's insanity. But a lot of people will see an entrepreneur trying over and over again, and they will automatically think that is insanity or stupidity, right? That is not saying that they will continue to do that, but what an entrepreneur is trying to do is to find a solution. So they may be trying different aspects at the problem, because remember, entrepreneurs don't sit back like small business owners and really plan, right? They look at something, a lot of times they jump in head first, which, accounts for a lot of the failure up front. But again, they're very persistent, right? So another characteristic is to delegate to others. Now, people with the entrepreneur mindset, they don't try to do everything themselves. What they do is they reach out for help, and then they designate tasks for those who best are best suitable for that particular role, or that is able to do them. Entrepreneurs are actually great at spotting talent. A good example of this is the virtual assistant. Behind every great entrepreneur is an assistant or an army of assistants who handle tasks that either interfere with the more important work or require skills that the entrepreneur lacks. So the entrepreneur recognizes the limits of their skills. They're good at recognizing talent that can, that obtain these skills and delegating that work down to them. They know that they should focus on planning their business and building relationships and not performing those mundane tasks that will prevent them from doing that. Another characteristic is the love of learning. Love of learning. Entrepreneurs have a mindset that is just like a sponge. It seeks learning. It loves to learn new things. And entrepreneurs have a hunger, a deep-rooted hunger for knowledge and a new way of thinking. They embrace new technology. They embrace new ideas, and they embrace new theories. They also embrace change, which is very hard for most people to accept. Entrepreneurs, embrace change, and that is a key feature of the growth mindset. Another characteristic is they are intuitive. Entrepreneurs are risk takers. We covered this. They're risk takers, but these aren't just random risks. Okay, they're not random risk taken for no reason at all. So they're not just out there just doing stuff just to be doing it. The reason an entrepreneur is taking risks is that they have a gut feeling, a deep gut feeling it will work. Or at the very least, teach them something of value. And that's what they feel, and that's what creates the risk. That's why it's worth the risk of trying in the eyes of an entrepreneur. As you raise your awareness about your limited beliefs and mindsets, you'll also see an increase in your intuition and your gut instincts. So as you're, transforming yourself to have this growth mindset, and you're more aware of the limit beliefs, and you're able to transform them into a more growth response, you're going to actually become more aware. Your intuition is going, and your gut feelings are going to, your gut instincts is going to sharpen, and you will recognize that as that happens. Okay. Other characteristics of being an entrepreneur is, and I know these are long, so hang in there with me, is they follow through. Entrepreneurs always follow through, and they're always looking out for opportunities, even when there's not necessarily one immediate, one that is present, right? So an example of this would be if let's say that an entrepreneur, goes to an event, right? And they're meeting different people. Well, entrepreneurs' mindset will be to follow up with every single person that they can, that they met at that event, even if it doesn't seem like there's an immediate, benefit to it. So, they follow up because they know that it could lead to something in the future. And they do know that if you don't call, it's guaranteed that nothing would happen, right? There's no connection that would be made. So because apparently they're at the same event, they have some type of connection, there's something there, maybe something can happen. So what they do is they follow up with them. They'll call, email, or something of that nature. Entrepreneurs are also flexible. One thing that an entrepreneur and a growth mindset have in common is that they are flexible. They are open to continuous change. Again, that's that word, change, and improvement. And they are ready to adapt or change a plan at any given moment. Entrepreneurs are really good at that. I think we have three more characteristics to go. One is goal setting. People with the entrepreneur mindset set goals, and they have this way to push themselves. That's what goal setting is. That's their meter, that's their measure to kind of push themselves. The fixed mindset will tell you that a goal is impossible to achieve or not worth striving for. If you're hearing this in your inner voice, reframe it. Stop it right then. Just reframe it so that you can look forward to obtaining that goal. And finally, entrepreneurs, they actually keep good company. They surround themselves with other entrepreneurs, positive influencers, and they like, having like-minded souls around them. They do this for networking, motivation. This is their motivation to keep them motivated. Network, who they know, them knowing each other. Maybe they can collaborate, new ideas, they can learn things. And to find mentors. And it is important to entrepreneurs to find mentors from whom they can learn, right? So these are some characteristics. These are, I think I went through 11 characteristics here. So these are some characteristics of an entrepreneur. All right, so as you went over the qualities that, an entrepreneur mindset have, Where did you find yourself? Ask yourself, where did you find yourself in those 11? Did you feel that many of them apply to you? Now ask yourself that. This is a time of reflection. Could you see areas where you can change or actually improve? Here is some inner dialogue, okay? Just as the growth mindset can be cultivated, the entrepreneur mindset can also be cultivated and nurtured. So I'm going to do this step process with you. I'm going to explain this to you. In order to change your mindset, the steps are essentially the same as what we went over before. You identify the thoughts that arise in your mind, these thoughts that are interfering with, the element of an entrepreneur mindset. And there are, some examples in your course book if you are enrolled in this program through one of the Combat Boots to Red Bottoms program or individual programs or the precision guided program. You have a course book that goes along with this and your handbook as well as your handouts. So you'll see examples of this in your course book. Now, step 2, again, is to reframe. Once you know what your thoughts are and you have an idea where they're coming from, it's time to reframe them. Like we identified before. Again, you have to imagine that you're talking to a friend rather than yourself, because why? We are our worst critics. A lot of times we're so harsh on ourselves. So this step is really the hardest for many people. But you'll naturally reframe what you're going to be saying to make it suitable for a friend. So kind of start thinking in that way when you tackle this step. And there are some examples in your course book that will help you out with these. And then finally, step 3 is when you adopt the entrepreneur mindset. After reframing, again, what do we do? Especially in Combat Boots to Red Bottoms, we take action. So you take action after you have identified and reframe. You go ahead and take action. What are some of the challenges or activities that you can do or you can use to kind of build that mindset and you apply that? For example, you can connect with local entrepreneurs, to create a positive peer group of people who have many of the mindset that you are, that you want to nurture. Good place for that is Combat Boots to Red Bottom. So that's half the battle right there, right? You want to attend conference or other networking events. Search for online opportunities to get together with other entrepreneurs. If you have any questions about other things that Combat Boots to Red Bottoms offer in this realm, please send a message so we can provide that information for you. Or is there something you could kind of delegate to someone else in your work? Like we talked about the virtual assistant, entrepreneurs are really good at identifying tablets and delegating tasks. So it clears up time for them to do what they are supposed to do, more important tasks for them. So, is there something that you can, delegate down, work on so that you can kind of focus on the more important things? What are some of the new skills that you can learn, I don't know if you guys hear that little bird, but that is my clock. so, um, so anyway, let me move on. We was talking about how entrepreneurs delegate and, you picking up that mindset. This is part of taking action. If you can delegate a couple of tasks or if it's some things that you would like to learn, by actually getting out there and acting like an entrepreneur, you're going to provide yourself with challenges and you're going to learn opportunities that will have a very transformative effect in your life. Okay, so here we are. We have completed module 3. Yay! So you have all the tools that you need. We've talked about the growth mindset. We talked about the fixed mindset and we differentiated between those. We also dived into how to take the necessary steps to establish a growth mindset. we looked deeper into the different entrepreneur mindsets. The different mindsets outside of that pretty much adapt a growth or fixed mindset. And that is, employee, business owner, and entrepreneur. And we just got through talking about how we went over, the qualities and characteristics of a entrepreneur. And we looked at 3 steps that we can take in order to, adopt that entrepreneur mindset and embrace those qualities, right? So if you have any questions, especially if you are enrolled in this program, please let us know. You'll get a chance to ask questions. You can send those to us, or you can ask them on your one-on-one session or your group session. But for those of you who have your action guide and are enrolled in the program, you have some action steps for the end of this module. In module 1, you wrote down the ideas about your ideal life. Remember those? I had you write those down. Now, I want you to look at your business. I want you to write down some goals for your business. They would be things like grow my business in a new market, maybe increase revenue by 20% by hiring salespeople. It could also be join an entrepreneur network, which you should have that checked off your list because you're a part of Combat Boots to Red Bottom. So you are a part of an entrepreneur network. You could open a large office. Those are maybe some things that you want to, some goals that you want to set for your business. So I want you to hear the inner dialogue as you're doing that. Close your eyes and think about the goals that you identified. I want you to list them. And by now, you should have a good idea of where your limiting thoughts, are coming in. Okay? Because we went over that and how to identify those and when they usually pop up. So now write down, once you identify those, I want you to reframe. Okay? Write down the source of where those limiting thoughts are coming from, and then I want you to reframe. Reframe your thoughts using growth or entrepreneur mindset. Reframe those, and then I want you to adopt your entrepreneur mindset. You're going to take action. I want you, you've now exposed your limiting thoughts, and then you found their origin. So now, you reframe them. So now write down any action that you need to take to continue developing a different aspect of your entrepreneur mindset, right? So again, these are your action steps. Go through that process. You see how all the way back to module 1 ties in, and take these steps, and we're going to discuss these in your small group discussion or in your one-on-one session with me. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. For some reason, I got cut off in our last slide, but I want to thank you for joining me today from Combat Boots to Red Bottoms. We have been talking about the success mindset for entrepreneurs and how to cultivate an entrepreneur mindset that inspires, motivates, and leads you to success. We just got through with module 2. I'm sorry. We just got through with module 3. And so you have homework to do if you're enrolled in our precision course. So if you want any information about Combat Boots to Red Bottoms, please, you're welcome to go to www.combatbootstoredbottoms.com. Send us a message and let us know how you enjoyed this course. And I will move into our conclusion soon. Thank you.